And we're off. Running that intro thing. Woo!
Eureka.
Got the homie back
We make
on this
plays
one.
every day, yeah.
Hey.
We make plays every day, yeah.
We turning up on this
Plays
one.
every day, yeah. We make plays every day, yeah. We make plays every day, yeah. Yeah. We make plays every day, yeah. We make plays every day, yeah. We make plays every day, yeah.
Welcome to the Real Fantasy Playmakers. I am your host, Bogie Scott Free, bringing back one of my great friends in the industry, a reoccurring guest. We are glad to welcome him back. It's my man Joe from Turn Up the Jets. What's happening?
What's good, my dude? Glad to be back here. It's pretty crazy. It felt like yesterday we just, met each other, and now we're here for a second time around and ready to get after it once again with you, my brother.
Oh yeah, man. You know what, Doc? I think it's been a cool minute now. It's been like like at least 2 months, almost 3 months now.
Yeah, dude. I think you reached out to me in like the beginning of April, man. So yeah,
It was
2 months in.
definitely a good amount of time before the draft. I remember that much. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Because you know what I'm saying. I like to feel I'm a great diagnose of. I can diagnose talent. You know what I'm saying. I call a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying. Playmakers. You know what I mean. I definitely encourage y'all to go back, and especially all you Playmaker Jets fans out there. Y'all need to turn that episode up. You know what I mean? Go check him out. He tells his whole backstory. You know what I mean? This time around, he's already a friend of the show, so we're gonna dive right into it. We talking about QBs. You know what I'm saying? We're not necessarily ranking, but we're pointing out different QBs and in different categories on this one. We're gonna turn up with the QBs on this one. Before we do all that, we're gonna handle some housekeeping. Go ahead, follow me at the GMM Network on IG and Twitter. Also follow me at the GMM Network. Oh, I'm sorry. Also follow me at Bogie Scott Free World on IG. You know what I'm saying? Also want to send a special shout out to the Rum Boys. You know what I'm saying? Bang, 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 gang, gang, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Check us out at rumboys.com. That's where you're going to find the latest and greatest articles from all our innovative sports journalists. Shout out to Miles Peacock. He running that tight ship over there. You know what I'm saying? With the likes of J Love and Rum Boys Combat. Jake, shout out to all the homies. Shout out to Connor Burke. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? I know I'm missing a bunch of names, but man, we got a whole fleet of writers. You know what I'm saying? They killing the game. Check them out. Also on rumboys.com. That's where you're going to find all our merch. You know what I'm saying? Also want to send a shout out to Justin from Clock Management, man. I feel like I keep forgetting to mention him just because I know he's a part of the Rum Boys, but still, he got his own thing going. Make sure to subscribe to him on YouTube, Clock Management Fantasy Football. You know what I'm saying? Also, want to send a special shout out to the Rum Boys official sponsor, MonkeyKnifeFight.com. DFS is coming back. You know what I'm saying? You want to get in on this action. You know what I'm saying? Man, we got NBA coming back. We got UFC. It's going to be riddled all over July. Man, it's going down. You know what I'm saying? I know players like Zeke and other motherfuckers are popping up with the Rona in the NFL. But you know what? I'm still confident we're going to have the NFL. And you're going to want to fuck with this DFS, this Daily Fantasy Sports. So go to monkeyknifefight.com. Use promo code RUMBOYS, RUMBOYZ. That's promo code RUMBOYS, all capitals, and we'll match your first deposit all the way up to $50. So don't be no cheap ass and put like $8 and get $16 to play with, because you only get this deal the first time you sign up and make an account. So go ahead, monkeyknifefight.com, use promo code RUMBOYS, all capitals, and we'll match your first deposit all the way up to $50. And like I said, throw that 50, get you 100. And let's get this bread. Monkey Knife Fight, give me money. Hey, also special shout out to our sponsor, Milk and Honey TX. For all your CBD wellness and all your CBD goodness, visit milkandhoneytx.com. Yo, Joe, let them know where they could turn up on all the Turn Up the Jets isms on your social medias and also on your YouTube channel, my brother.
For sure. So I'm currently on Instagram at turn_up_the_Jets with 2 S's. On Twitter, Turn Up the Jets, just how it sounds, all one word. And you'll find me at YouTube, the same name, Turn Up the Jets, all one word. My YouTube link is actually connected to my Instagram account where I'm most active, but kind of been around, got the YouTube a few months back and just got back into Twitter as well.
Woo! Okay. Now, first order of business, pour up some vodka. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
These goddamn kids be driving me crazy. I love them. And I can't even be mad at them. Can't even be mad at them because they're just little me's running around. You know what I mean? Yeah, so, you know what I'm saying? Tito's, give me money. Bud Light, give me money. And bam, we're going to talk about some QBs. So this is what we're going to do, Playmakers. Me and my man Joe, we're going to talk about some QBs that we think have, I don't like using the word sleeper value, but that are kind of being slept on. How about that, right? They're kind of being slept on, and they got, and that, in our perspective, have some extreme high upside. You know what I'm saying? We'll go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? We'll go ahead and shoot a couple names and elaborate. But yeah, go. What you got for me, Joe?
Yeah, so the first one I got was a guy last year was held out of injury, missed 50% of the season a year ago, and that's quarterback Matthew Stafford from the Lions.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think that, he is definitely being slept on, and to be honest, I think the Lions are being slept on quite a bit here. I think they're going to be competitive. I'm not saying they're going to go to the playoffs, but the Lions always put up points, and you know why? It's because of number 9. And Stafford, his first 8 weeks, was actually, a top 10 quarterback. He had 19 touchdowns in 8 games, just 5 interceptions. It's definitely a pass-first offense. Got great weapons alongside Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones. I expect big things out of T.J. Hawkinson, and I do like the DeAndre Swift pick out of Georgia.
He's great in the pass game too.
Absolutely, and we all forget a little guy named Theo Riddick, how valuable he was to a Stafford. So I like the player a lot. I know he's not going to be a guy who's going to be falling, to the bottom tier, but he'll be a guy. I would say like round 7 to 10.
I like him. I've been seeing his ADP around, between. You're right, between rounds. I'd say more like 8 and 10. You know what I mean? Because the fantasy community, they're smart like yourself, Joe. You know what I mean? They listen to motherfuckers like yourself. You know what I mean? So, they're going to be aware of him and hopefully, after this episode, we just stop talking about him so we can acquire him in that good value. You know what I mean? But we will deliver the truth for the Playmakers. And I do want to backpack off your take. I love me some Matthew Stafford. You know what I'm saying? I mean, bro, he was on pace to throw for goddamn 38 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He you know what I'm saying? TJ Hawkinson. I mean, people, or as I like to call him, TJ Hawkinson. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, you know what I mean? They might be off of him because they had too much rookie tight end hype on him. But it's like, you should be, shame on you. Anyone who is hype on a rookie tight end, think again. That shit usually happens a few years in, or in this case, it might happen, in a sophomore outing, because of the fact that you have so many other options on the outside, like Marvin Jones, who's a real burner, goddamn Kenny Golladay, who's just fucking phenomenal. I love Kenny G. You know what I mean? And then you got more importantly, you got Derek Bevel there. Derek Bevel, the offensive coordinator, his system loves to throw to the tight end in the red zone. Loves to look at the tight end as the possession guy. You know what I'm saying? So TJ Hawkinson, he could be, he could wake up this year for your fantasy roster. Also, gotta love Derek Bevel and how he treats his running backs. I mean, I remember him with Marshawn Lynch with Seattle. I remember when he was with Adrian Peterson. Bro, he loves a multifaceted running back. Not to say that Adrian Peterson was multifaceted. I'm just saying, because Marshawn Lynch definitely was. But I will say, Adrian Peterson there, just the fact that, if they got one good guy they can run like a motherfucker, they will. And I think that will be DeAndre Swift. And that's only going to help Stafford with that play action and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I got one for you. I got one for you.
Let's get it.
This one, I fucking love this one. You know what I'm saying? This one, he's got razor sharp swag. Matter of fact, he has one of the meanest mustaches in the game. And I have a theory that he doesn't even cut his own mustache. That his razor sharp swag does it for him. He wakes up in the morning and it's just groomed with this razor sharp swag. He does his goddamn warm-ups in a goddamn jock strap. I'm talking about my man Mustache Mania, my man Minshew the Ginsu with razor sharp swag. Bro, they got a terrible secondary, one. So I don't really believe that they're gonna be in these games too much. Like they're mind you, shout out to Hussein the Brain. He said I shouldn't really be looking at the game like that. I shouldn't be evaluating quarterbacks like that, but I am, because if I think your secondary is gonna be bad and you're giving up points, bro, that means you're gonna be chucking that rock. And you got someone like Jay Gruden over there now, right? Jay Gruden, he's a goddamn OC now. He was a terrible head coach, but when he was an OC, you know what I'm saying? I remember Andy Dalton having hell of a years. And even when he was a head coach with Kirk Cousins passed for over 4,900 yards 3 years straight. You know what I'm saying? Damn near 5,000 yards for 3 years straight. You know what I mean? And, you know what I'm saying? During those years, Kirk Cousins, he averaged 4 rushing touchdowns a season. That's pretty fucking good. Granted, I want you to pay attention that the fact Gardner Minshew, he had over 300 yards rushing in a rookie outing. He was the fifth leading rusher out of the QBs. That's kind of low key. No one's looking at that. You know what I'm saying? And then now you match that with the fact that Jay Gruden's over there to match with all my madness. I'm really big on DJ Chark. They brought in Tyler Eifert. I know this motherfucker can't stay healthy, especially when the wind blows. It just knocks him down and he gets injured. But at the same time, you know what I mean? He's familiar with that system. You know what I'm saying? Because that system used to be implicated over there in Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying? When Jay Gruden was there. Still, you got also Leonard Fournette. You brought in Chris Thompson. 2 running backs, especially Chris Thompson, can catch the ball. But even Leonard Fournette last year, coming off that season where no one thought he had any passing chops, he caught 70 balls. I'm not saying he's gonna catch that many, but still, you gotta love it. You gotta love the fact that most of their offensive line was hurt last year, and they should be all coming back. They got a lot of first and second round talent on that line. I love my man, the Ginsu.
I like it. He never really comes to your mind a lot. And I'm glad you picked, you kind of mentioned him. Honestly, not to sound crazy, but he wasn't too far off from like a Kyler Murray when you look up and down those stats. I mean, he had 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 3,200 yards with, not a whole lot of weapons.
And guess what? He didn't start every game.
Right. Yeah. No, he didn't. I think he started 12 games. I could be wrong. 12 to 13. Yeah, he did not start a full year. So,
nope.
And I like Shark. I mean, especially you're looking at passing a lot. They're talking about maybe trading Leonard Fournette. What does that do? Maybe opens the pass a little more. I don't know if they'll trade him, but I know that's the rumor.
I still say this. I hope they don't trade him. Because if they don't, it's a career, it's a contract year. They can run his ass into the dirt. It'll really open up some play action, bro. You also got D.D. Westbrook out of the slot. You they drafted another young receiver. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. You also got the likes of Keelan Cole. I mean, they got depth over there, bro. Like, I'm just saying, like the Ginsu, he was finding his man, bro. Like, and for God's sakes, he does his warm ups in a jock strap only. You know what I'm saying? You gotta love that.
Yeah. They took Laviska Shenault.
There you go, Shenault.
Shenault out of Colorado. He's a solid receiver. He's a second round talent. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, as the Jaguars as a whole, that's a different story. But I do like the Minshew pick. Just kind of at sleeper late round type of guy. And
I will say this. I am crazy enough, if I can't get any of the QBs I like before him in a single QB league, I might end up with Minshew. But I'm definitely targeting him as my second or third QB in a goddamn super flex league. And Joe, we're gonna get you in one of these leagues this year. I'm gonna get. And shout out to my man, the fantasy fornicator. My man, you know what I'm saying? By this time, you guys are hearing this, Playmakers. 78 and 79, episode 78, 79 will be up, and it was a long episode where we broke down rankings for running backs and receivers, so we split it into 2 episodes, but those will be available featuring my man Smokin' Jay, my man, the fantasy fornicator, and God damn it, me and him, we're creating something called the SBI, the Smoky Bogie Invitational. You know what I'm saying? Where, we're bringing in, different analysts. You're definitely involved in that shit, and it will be a super flex league.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Love that.
Okay.
That sounds dope to me. Let's go. I follow the fornicator on Instagram.
He's great, right?
Yeah, he's great. He's terrific. I mean, I found him once I listened to that podcast. I mean, I followed him. He follows me, and we both, I follow his podcast, showing love to each other. So for sure, shout out to him. He's got dope ass content.
Fuck yeah, he does. Okay, so check us out. Hit me off with another one. You know what I'm saying?
So, all right, this one's a little ballsy. I'll tell you that. But I look, because I like how you brought up the corners last time, because you kind of really look into it. It's not just the player; it's the players around him. And this is a guy who had one of the worst offensive lines last season. And when I say, and he's young, when you're young and you're developing, it's so hard to basically not turn over the ball if you got no time, because the rookie's instinct is like, shit, I'm going to have to throw the ball. I got to throw it away. But that ends up being picked most of the time. This guy had 21 picks last year. My guy is Baker Mayfield.
Wow, I love that. And they addressed the line like shit.
They did. They addressed the line a lot. They got the best free agent tackle on the market in Jack Conklin out of Titans.
Mm-hmm.
And arguably, to me, they got the best lineman in the draft.
Yeah, with
Wills.
Wills.
Out of Bama. So I love, and he's got beast behind him. Really is going to not really have to make big so many times. And people, they have Beckham Jr., Landry, and Austin has his weapons.
Hey, hold on one second, Joe. You're kind of cutting in and out there. Give me a 1-2.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, there you go. You're good. Okay, so go ahead. So I want you to reiterate, because you were spitting some straight game right there. You were spitting some isms. So go ahead.
Yeah, so like I said, the Wills, they addressed the line. They got their guy with Nick Chubb. Will really, not put as much pressure when you have just a back that can carry the load when needed. And he's got great weapons. There's no doubt about it. Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham. They just got Austin Hooper, who, in fact, was the number 1 ranked fantasy tight end last year. I don't know how that's going to go. But I really, last year, everyone was so high on Baker, but people never, ever, ever look into, wow, this guy has a terrible offensive line.
Yeah, did you see his footwork last year?
Oh, it was
terrible because
it was bad.
Because he felt the pressure coming from all directions. He would just get all chicken legs, and it was crazy, bro. Like, bro, I remember going to that Monday nighter. I was really fucking wasted because mind you, I'm a season ticket holder, wasted, and you know what I'm saying? Love night games, and me and my boy, we're laughing. We're like, damn, look at Baker. He's running like he's on fire. Like only his feet are on fire. Like, bro, it wouldn't even be a 3-step drop back or a 5-step drop back. It'd be like he was doing the cha-cha all the way backwards. Just fucking, it was crazy, bro. Like, and it was all because of that line. And if he can get some fundamentals down, because I remember, bro, he was basically playing behind that same line as rookie year, and maybe because he had a bigger chip on his shoulder with something to prove. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't even like his coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, he looked phenomenal. And when your footwork's bad, your accuracy it takes a hit. Because he was actually very accurate his rookie year. So, with this line, to be able to give him time, he has a fucking array of weapons. Juice, OBJ, Austin Hooper, goddamn David Njoku. And with Kevin Stefanski over there, they're going to run a lot of 12 personnel. That's even why they brought in Austin Hooper. It's like, why would you bring in Austin Hooper if you already have the likes of David Njoku? Oh, because you're going to be running a lot of 12 personnel. So he's going to have a lot of safety valves. He got Kareem Hunt in the passing game. Nick Chubb runs routes. Plus, they're going to enforce the run like shit. where he might not have to do so much. We could see a more efficient Baker Mayfield. I love him, especially if I want to preference this I'm putting him in the same category as how I would look at him in fantasy as my man, the Ginsu. Like, if I had to, okay, I might end up with him in a single QB league if everyone's gone and it's my fucking 15th round pick and he's there, I would be happy to have him, right? But
Absolutely.
in a super flex league, I'm not mad at him as my second or third quarterback, for sure, with all those fucking weapons.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good one, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Because I was not looking at Baker at all.
Right, and that's kind of how I felt about Minshew. But I saw it and I was like, man, I mean, I remember Baker got dropped like pretty early in my league last year. I swooped him up. I had him at home, so I was just like, oh, I'll take Baker. And because I was like, oh, he plays the Dolphins week 12. That's Mahomes' bye. He didn't even make it to week 12. He was that bad. And I do, blame that on the offensive line.
He played hella shitty that game too, huh? Oh, didn't he run 2 touchdowns in? Am I remembering that wrong?
I don't know how I don't think he played well that game.
Because I think that was when he still had the hand. He already had that hand injury. Forget it. That's not important. Okay, continue.
Yeah, it was a mess last year, and it didn't help that he had the worst head coach in the league last year, and Freddie Kittens, as we like to call him.
Oh, I like that. You know what I call him? I call him the mafia hitman, Freddie Kitchens. Because tell me that doesn't sound like a mafia name.
It does. Kitchens.
Freddie
I got it.
Kitchens.
I'm Italian. I can relate to that.
Hey, forget about it. But you know what he was doing? He was putting hits out on his own QB. You know what I'm saying? He was like the mob boss. He's putting the contract out.
Yeah, he's putting hits out for sure. So I think they're improved on the line. They improved pretty much everywhere. There's no excuse now. I'm over Baker Mayfield if he doesn't perform this year. But I think he will. I really do.
Okay, I got one. This one I wanted to try to beat you to the punch. All right?
I already know who it is.
And you already know this. This actually opened up the dialogue the first time I ever DM'd you talking about some isms that in regarding the Jets. My man, the Terminator, Darnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I'm saying? And here's why. It's kind of the same reasons with Baker. They addressed that line. He's going to have time in that pocket, assumingly. This is going to help Le'Veon Bell. This is, and then, which would help, the passing game. Obviously, I'm an advocate for the run opening up the pass versus the pass opening up the run. You know what I mean? And you got someone better than, I think, potentially could be better than Robbie Anderson, especially dominating physically wise with Denzel Mims, because he's, 6'3", 200 something. You know what I mean? Runs the 4.3s faster than the green bean. You know what I'm saying? And then you got, Chris Herndon, who I seen you in one of your latest posts. You actually highlighted him. I wasn't mad at that. And then, really it all just boils down to, the fact that I think their secondary isn't going to be that great. There's a lot of promise there with their draft picks, but also at the end of the day, it's like Jamal Adams, is he going to have to, he can't do it all by himself back there. It's not like he's going to be covering these receivers. I feel like they're going to be playing from behind, or they're going to be trying to own time of possession to mask the fact that they have a bad secondary. I don't know. Either way, the real one issue is it always goes up to up top, and that's with goddamn Adam Gase. But I think Sam Darnold might not be seeing as much ghost this year. You know what I mean? With that pressure that they'll be able to hold off.
Wow, I love that you brought my man up. I couldn't be too biased, so I had to leave him out. But absolutely,
I got you.
I got him the next second closest. Mayfield and Darnold definitely are just those guys that are going to be chilling very late. And like you said, offensive line is really big to me. Le'Veon Bell's, hopefully they utilize him the right way. And it's the first time he's out of the same system for the second year. So I'm interested to see. Obviously, I'm really excited. I think Darnold needs to break out as well. So I definitely think that goes along with them.
Also, with my man, the Frenchman, because to me, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds French. Patterman. Then, you know what I'm saying? What's his name?
Rashad Perryman?
Rashad Perryman. You know what I mean? He's French, bro. He's black French. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have time in the pocket to deliver that deep accurate ball that he actually possesses. He possesses a sharp, deep ball. We just haven't seen it because he doesn't have no time. But like, come on, I can remember a bunch of preseason games where, you're having people kind of play vanilla and he was able to really show off. And I've seen it translate a couple times, you know what I'm saying? Like I loved bringing up that Cowboys game. You know what I mean? I love bringing up, and he loves his tight ends, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like he's sharp, man. If he can just get some time, and he's still young. I mean, dial up some Darnold Schwarzenegger. And I'm definitely bringing up guys that I'm looking at more so in super flex.
For sure. And to go off that, there's another guy, and that would lead to my last one. I had three. And we also talked about this guy, too. I wasn't sure if you were going to go with him or Darnold for your last pick.
Oh, you're going to New York. Oh, Drew Lock. Ooh.
I'm going to go with Drew Lock. I really am fascinated by him. What he was able to do last year. I mean, the Broncos were a dumpster fire with Flacco, and he kind of turned it around. I just remember.
You mean Crapo?
Hey, he's a Jet now, so I can't trash him.
We'll call him Wacko then.
Wacko, yeah. Joe Wacko. But, yeah, with Locke, I mean, I just remember watching them. It was the week after the Texans beating the Patriots, and the Broncos just kicked the shit out of the Texans. And Drew Lock just went off. He had 7 touchdowns and only a small sample size, still threw for 1,000 yards, and they upgraded those weapons. Cortland Sutton was one of my huge additions last year. I picked him late, and I struck gold with him.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to do it again. And now you add Jerry Jeudy to the mix. You add KJ Hamler to the mix. Jeudy from Bama, Hamler from Penn State. And those are two really explosive weapons. And you can see that the Broncos, they're looking at their rivals over there in Kansas City. What do? They beat them with those explosive receivers. It's becoming a theme in the NFL. The Broncos do it. The Broncos also have 2 great running backs, both that could catch out of the backfield.
Yep.
And Jordan as well. So
oh, yeah.
I like Locke as well.
And Pat Shurmur's another one of those. Pat Shurmur, the OC's another one of those guys, loves to run 12 personnel. And he has Albert O there, the rookie, who's probably not going to get as much snaps early on, but you have Noah Fant, and I love using the biblical reference with Noah, and in Noah's Ark, you had 2 of everything. So now they got 2 great rookie receivers. You got 2 tight ends there, 2 running backs. All of them can catch the ball. You know what I'm saying? You also got Cortland Sutton, so you know what I'm saying? So you got one true number 1 in the making. Bro, I love Drew Lock. I love that. Look at this. You're on fire right now, Joe. Turn it up.
We got to turn up the facts, right?
Yeah. I like that. Turn up the facts. That should be one of your segments.
For sure, bro. I like that.
Okay, I'll hit you with my third and final one, right?
Let's hear.
And this one, man, I'd be teetering back and forth on this one, but it's my man Danny Dimes. You know what I mean? Danny Dimes, he flashed a lot. He also has some wheels. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he's Danny Wheels. You know what I mean? And he be dropping dimes all over the field like a snitch. You know what I'm saying? Just goddamn, just ratting on his receivers with the ball. You know what I mean? Like goddamn Tekashi 6ix9ine from New York. You know what I mean? Just fucking. And here's the thing with Danny Dimes is like, you have Golden Tate, a safety valve. You have Evan Ingram, who's arguably the best pass catcher on that team if he can stay healthy. You got a new offensive coordinator that's going to emphasize the run and call some plays throwing to Saquon Barkley. You know what I mean? Because you'd be foolish to not throw it to Barkley. You know what I mean? I mean, these are all extensions of Danny Dimes. I don't really want to elaborate on him too much, but I will say that they did address their secondary, James Bradbury. I really respect him, but he's not going to be able to defend the whole goddamn secondary. You know what I'm saying? So I still feel like they're going to be in a lot more shootouts than people are that are expecting. And you know what I mean? Shout out to Danny Dimes. Same thing. Love him in some double QBs. Love him in super flex.
For sure. He's another guy that's interesting. I actually was looking at a lot of rankings have him pretty high up though. So
yeah, for sure. But here's the thing: is like I feel like a lot of them will start scaling back, Yeah, you know what I mean?
For sure.
I mean, because you would be wise to. Like, you know, but that's why I put him third on my list. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And I still consider him a sleeper, too. I'm not going to go in and reach for him because of his ranking.
I have an honorable mention because this quarterback I'm about to mention, before we move on, he's also on my decline list. Ironically, right? So maybe, you know, Bogart, you know, it's madness when you talk to me, right? You know, I'm a fucking madman, so I can do what I want. So in this case, I'm gonna say Carson Wentz, man. Carson Wentz is a guy who has has extreme upside, but the reason I say on the decline mode is because because mind you, they got him all these weapons. You know, you got a great run game. You got the poor man's version of Saquon Barkley with the guy who actually came out of Penn State behind him with Miles Sanders. Also a phenomenal pass catcher. You got Boston Scott, also a great pass catcher out of the backfield. They run the highest amount of 12 personnel. You know what I'm saying? Something around like 50% of the snaps. They're running 12 personnel with Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. I mean, he does have God in his name. He also has dirt in his name. But either way, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you got Alshon Jeffrey, who's actually going to have some help. You got two burners with, Deshaun Jackson and JJ Arcega-Whiteside. You know, they brought in Rager. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're actively addressing these weapons for Carson Wentz. The one thing that pushed him into also my decline list is the fact that this week some news broke that they might have lost already one of their star tackles to a torn something. I can't remember, dog. Maybe if you want to check that out for me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Which actually looks like they're going to re-sign Jason Peters again with his old injury-prone ass. You know what I'm saying? But because, they're usually phenomenal with their line. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, because they're usually great in the trenches. But also, again, too, their secondary was extremely trash last season. Yes, they brought in Darius Slay, but it's the same way I view the Giants secondary, where they brought in James Bradbury, but it's like, the secondary option at corners is not going to be the greatest, and he's going to be heavily targeted. They're probably going to be giving some points. I mean, Carson Wentz, man, keep an eye on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I was the same way. I kind of had avoid /
Well, let's start with that. So now we're going to talk about some QBs we kind of want to avoid. So go ahead, start off with you. So you got Carson Wentz on that list.
Yeah, I had him between that and decline, just kind of like, decline with you two. And it was Brandon Brooks tore his Achilles. He was the best lineman on their team.
Yeah.
And there we go again, talking about offensive line and just how you don't really look at them ever to be helpful in fantasy, but they do when it comes to quarterbacks. And that's my one worry of him. You look at the stats, he's a great player. He's a great player. I don't think he's a great fantasy asset. If you get him and you get him late, I'm fine with that because I'm definitely a believer. For me this year, especially if I miss out on Mahomes, man, I'm just gonna pick as many running backs and receivers as I can get, and then look at a quarterback late because you could always find a quarterback with production. I think he's gonna be productive enough. But for me, with a questionable offensive line, they just have a lot of questions. I know Miles Sanders coming in. Who knows if they're
That's going to hurt Miles Sanders, too, with Brooks going down.
Oh, yeah. Big time. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what direction. I know they're more so a balanced offense they were last year. And they do like to run with a lot of running backs as well. They have in the past. So, yeah, Wentz just kind of scares me. Again, if you can get him at a later bet, then I'm totally cool with that. But I'm not going to go and reach for him because I do know he does have hype still. He has all the hype of the world still. People still believe that he can come back, win another MVP, take the Eagles to the Super Bowl. I'm not buying it yet, and I think the Brandon Brooks injury is just terrible. I mean, it's just terrible, especially for all those guys.
It's a massive hit.
Massive hit. And people don't, that's what I'm saying, it doesn't, you don't really think of that until you kind of go in and do the research and see
the numbers, the difference of the numbers.
Absolutely. And I look at it as a difference of, turning the ball over too. It's so much easier to turn over the ball if you're being bull rushed every play.
Hey, you know what's crazy? I will say this: Wentz is he amazes me in this sense where 100 total passing touchdowns in his career, right? Obviously, none in the playoffs because we know how it goes down with him in the playoffs, right? He's either non-existent or he got hurt the first drive. You know what I mean?
Yep.
100 total passing touchdowns. That includes his rushing touchdowns. And 35 picks in his career. And I think the only person with a better touchdown pass ratio is Aaron Rodgers. And obviously Aaron Rodgers has way more years, but as far as like active in the league, you know what I mean? That ratio, man, he's right there up there with Aaron Rodgers. It's kind of crazy.
That is crazy. I mean, there's no question he's talented, and then I'm glad you brought the injuries up too. That's another thing that really scares me.
Yeah.
I'm just scratching my head when they go Jalen Hurts second round. Be like, did they really not trust him being healthy? Like, I didn't get that pick at all for Philly at all. But I don't know. Injuries definitely worry me for sure, but. We'll have to see. He has the talent. There's no doubt about it. He has unlimited amount of potential. But I just gotta see it a full year, and I gotta see him last a full season because it hasn't seemed like we've ever seen it.
Okay, this one's gonna sound crazy, and I want to preface this, Playmakers.
I like crazy.
The name I'm about to mention, he's still gonna be great, but it's the price tag. Which I feel that it's going to be too high for you to pay, and he might not live up to the price tag because people are going to be chasing last year. And that's Lamar Jackson, man. I think like his rushing totals is still going to be up there. It's still probably going to be still the highest in the league. But I will say, people are paying, a first-round draft capital, second-round draft capital. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I said, this is really crazy. I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I just don't think he's going to put up the same numbers he did last season. And you're going to regret maybe, not taking one of those high-end running backs or high-end receivers in that first or second round because that's when he's going. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Super flex leagues, it's fine. I'm not talking about super flex because quarterbacks like Mahomes and Jackson, they're going to go in the first round. For real, in those type of leagues. But in single QB leagues, I would rather have a steady running back, in the first round than grab a QB when I can go grab one of those late round guys later. You know what I mean? That has a high potential. Like you're basically going to be drafting Lamar Jackson at his ceiling, and you're going to need him to either supersede that ceiling to bring you any kind of value, or you just want him to have fun because he's fun to have.
For sure. I don't think you're crazy at all. I mean, yes, last year if you got Lamar Jackson, you probably won your fantasy league for sure.
Let's see. Hold on. How many passing yards did Lamar Jackson have in the 2019 regular season? Let's see here.
The Ravens had 3,350 passing yards.
Okay, so 3,350. That's not a lot. Okay?
No, He only attempted 400 passes as well. That's not a lot.
That's not a lot. And I want to say his efficiency was so incredible because of the fact that he had the rushing threat, where it was like he would see so much single coverage on the outside. And Greg Roman knows how to scheme his guys open, especially his tight ends. I mean, yes, people are like, well, you guys, Hollywood Brown coming back, he'll be completely healthy, blah, blah, blah. We can make a case. I just don't want to pay a first or second round draft capital for Lamar Jackson. Now, if he's in the back of the third round, maybe mid third round, okay, throw my argument out the window. But when you're building a team in a single QB league, when you're constructing a team, you want stability. Granted, he's stable, and yeah, he's basically a running back too, built into a QB1. But, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think he'll be more of a passer this year, but still, their defense is fucking phenomenal. Do you really see him throwing more than 30 times a game? I think he averaged something like 26 to 28 times a game passing, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but it's just from my memory from watching every single fucking piece of tape. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
But I am crazy.
Yeah, what he did last year, especially in the running game, I mean, he had 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns. That's
I give him like 800 yards as a ceiling on the ground.
For sure. Me too. I mean, what he did last year was...
And hopefully he doesn't get fucking hurt.
Yeah, and that's another thing as well when I look into a guy like that. It's nothing to do with his talent, it's just more so where he's going in the draft.
Yeah, because, let's be real, efficiency is hard to replicate. The only person who seemingly this stat doesn't affect is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, year in, year out, on a low pass volume offense, on a run first offense, is the only guy who can replicate efficiency with his minimal pass attempts. He literally averages 25 pass attempts a game. And he can go 18 for 25 with 4 touchdowns. He's done this numerous times. He's fucking dangerous for a reason. I'm just saying, like, Lamar Jackson's still young. He's still going to want to run all the time. I'm wondering how they're going to play this thing out. You know what I mean? Especially when teams are going to be gearing up for it more than ever.
Yeah, and exactly. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are almost going to know what their game plan is. They're clearly run heavy, and that's another reason why I don't hate that, avoiding him, just because of his draft capital. I mean, I want to go and draft the 2 best running backs I can get, and then the best available receiver with those first 3 rounds. I'm not running around for a quarterback unless his name's Patrick Mahomes. And to be honest with you, I'd even look at a Russell Wilson over Lamar Jackson for exactly what you said, and the consistency. You know what you're going to get for Russell Wilson. He's not going to throw a lot of passes, but he's going to throw a lot of touchdowns. He's not going to have a lot of turnovers, and he's going to do a little work with his legs as well. So I totally agree with that. I don't disagree whatsoever with that.
Yeah, I love it when I could have someone agree with my straight up madness. You know what I mean? Okay.
You gotta be madness.
What else you got for me?
Yeah. So what I got now is a guy to avoid. He's not. It was just the first guy I thought in my head. It would be Jared Goff. I just don't see him being fantasy relevant. He kind of goes with another guy I'm with too, is Phillip Rivers. I kind of do 2 in 1 here. With Goff, I mean, I don't know what weapons they have.
That one.
They have they got a tough line. Their offensive line is nothing to brag about. They lose Cooks. Yes, they have Woods, and yes, they have Cooper Kupp. But I mean, there's a lot of questions. I don't know who their running back's going to be. And he was terrible last year, 22 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. That's nothing to really brag about, especially a guy making $135 million. I definitely avoid for this dude. I don't want him on my fantasy team. And same with Phillip Rivers. I know he's a guy that everyone is thinking that he's just magically going to be good again because he has a good offensive line. Yes, we've been talking offensive line, but that dude is old. He is clearly regressing each year. He's 38. He's not like Darnold and Mayfield, who are 23.
Rivers was actually one of my upside guys that I didn't get to. But
really?
Because of they have the best offensive line as far as metrics go.
Right. I'm hearing it. I'm just kind of sticking with my guns. A lot of people are high in Rivers, and I get why you are. Just looking at like the weapons, the offensive line, the running back help. They got Jonathan Taylor now to go with Marlon Mack. That's pretty sweet. But for me, I don't know. His arm strength isn't there anymore. And if there are teams that, who knows? Maybe the Colts have a day off in the offensive line, and he's run ragged again like he was last year with 20 interceptions. So I would kind of base those 2 guys, Goff and Rivers. I could see why Rivers is a sleeper because you're not going to have to spend any major draft capital on him. He's going to be a late round guy. He's around.
But I will say though, behind that great line and drafting Jonathan Taylor, they could be pounding this thing in a lot more in the red zone and the 10 zone. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And that'll take away from Rivers.
Oh, absolutely. They'll definitely pound the rock and I know they have Doyle in the goal line, but other than that, they don't really have a red zone threat either. But yeah, for me, I mean, he's only floating around 12% owned, so it's not like he's. If you get him late, I'm not hating on you for it, but I'm just not a fan. Same with Goff.
You know, I think Phillip Rivers is regretting his life. You know why? Because he might have been one of the the greatest Olympic shock putters ever. You know what I mean?
Really? I didn't know that.
No, but, listen, he doesn't know it either. It's just the fact that, have you seen how he throws the ball?
His short arm. Yeah,
you see how he throws the ball? He might as well have been an Olympic. He could have been an Olympic gold medalist at shot putting B.
Just how you said that, I was convinced that he actually was.
Well, I sell it great. I'm a salesman. You know, I'm from the dope game. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, one salesman or another. I guess I should have gotten that. But yeah, his weak arm, man. I mean, I'm just not loving it. But I do definitely not like Goff. I remember I made a video on the Jets-Rams game and kind of tore Goff a little bit, and I got some angry LA Rams.
Man, Goff was my other one, and then this whole time when you're talking about Goff, I'm over here trying to scramble to think of another one because I'm like Goff was my one, man.
Yeah. I mean, because like 2 years ago, like he was one of those guys you got lucky on, for sure. I mean, he had a great season 2 years ago.
I got another one though. I do got another one.
Yeah, let's hear it.
And I won't say Goff. I won't say Goff was lucky. It was when Andrew Whitworth was still at his finest with his old ass. Because Andrew Whitworth's pushing 40 now. He's like 38. You know what I mean? When he came over there at the age of 36, he really shored up that line. Gurley was still a thing. I mean, that definitely opened up everything. Because like I said, I'm an advocate for believing in the pass. I mean, the run opens up the pass more than the pass opens up the run. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that's the thing that hurts him. He lost a lot of weapons too. Like I don't know who their running back's going to be.
It's going to be Cam Akers, who actually, shout out to LQ, who I'm actually going to jump on with on the Icon show after this. You know what I'm saying? But LQ, you know, he hails from Jersey, die-hard Rams fan. He told me a stat about Cam Akers that coming out of college, Cam Akers led the league in most yards, or led college most yards after contact. And that's a phenomenal stat when you're going to the Rams because you're going to be getting hit behind that line. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Their offensive line is weak. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think of Akers. He is a big guy, but to ask to ask a 20-year-old to come right in and just feed the rock to him doesn't seem.
Well, it is a Sean McVay thing to do.
It is, no, for sure.
Sean McVay, I think the worst thing about, besides the line being bad in LA for the Rams, the worst thing is goddamn Sean McVay out coaching himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he did it in the Super Bowl.
he's a product of Kyle Shanahan, and you know we've seen Kyle Shanahan definitely outcoach himself in the goddamn Super Bowls, and I said plural. You know what I mean? But yes, let's move on so I don't bring up open old wounds, right? Here's my other one. Goddamn Big Ben Rapisburger.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just, and you know what? I could drop the mic by just saying that Tommy John. Drop the mic. You know what I mean? I don't know how it's going to look. You know, even when baseball players come off of Tommy John, bro, and you're a baseball guy.
I got Tommy John. Even better.
See?
It's tough, man. I mean, I never came back the same, to be honest. It helped my arm. I got my strength back, but...
And at least you were young. Big Ben is old, Ben.
This dude's old. He's mid to late 30s, man. I mean, I like that. I mean...
Not even mid. Hold on.
Late, right? He's like 37.
How old is Ben Roethlisberger?
Ben Roethlisberger is 38 years old.
38 fucking years old. Hold on. When is his birthday?
Did you see him with the beard? Oh my gosh, he looks like freaking.
So March 2nd. So yeah, I seen it. And then he made this proclamation, right? He made this proclamation that he was going to cut his beard off as soon as he could throw the ball again. And then I feel like, soon, and this was still deep in quarantine, all of a fucking sudden, he has a fresh shave and he's throwing the ball. And it was like, it wasn't like he was like bombing that thing. It was just like he was, rehabbing. And then now he's throwing the ball. And like, I feel like that's really detrimental. You know what I mean? But also, the fact they're in quarantine, I will say this is what could throw my take out the window. He's on all kind of juice. You know what I mean? Juicing to the gills. Because I would.
All juiced up.
I would, even if I was a player right now in the league and I wasn't hurt, I'm juicing to the gills.
What do you think the Tom Brady method has been? Come on, like
bro, it's been avocado ice cream. Get out of here. He's an American hero.
Brady and Edelman were on the same regiment. Edelman gets
for
caught.
real. And you know what? I can imagine that conversation. Look, Jules, they're on to us. I need you to take a fall. You know what I mean? And then guess what? He comes back fresh off the fucking 4-week suspension, juiced to the gills, and guess what? They win the goddamn Super Bowl. And he's the MVP.
Yep. Crazy.
Shout out to my man Jewish Edelman. That's why he's so shady on the nickels, right? Yep. The nickel corners. I see what I did there.
I love it.
I love Jewish people. No, I'm not. I didn't mean that to be offensive. I just think it's clever, and I love Jewish people. You've heard a lot of my music. One of my favorite punchlines is to say I'm about money like I'm Jewish, because we bowed our bread over here at the GMM network. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Okay, let's move on. So let's. This is our last segment for the evening, or the morning, or the wee hours of the middle of the night, whenever you might be consuming this episode. Right? So now help me out here. Because now I'm like 4 shots in, and I have another podcast after this. I'm like, this is gonna be a long one. At least I'm definitely gonna eat some mushrooms after this though, and I'm going in on the Icon show. You know what I mean? But Jim, what was our last one, bro? I mean, you are the co-host for the evening. Help me out here.
Yeah, so it was quarterbacks on the decline.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
My first guy is Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, that was my number 1 guy on my list.
Oh, man, I'm taking them all.
I got 3. All 3. How about this? Spoiler alert. All 3 of my guys are Aaron Rodgers, Big Ben, and Carson Wentz. So it's like I have 3 guys, you know what I'm saying, that are, you know what I mean, that I've already mentioned. But like, yes, okay, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, for me, I think the Packers shit their pants in the draft. I hated their draft. And, they go take 2 positions that they already had in Jordan Love and A.J. Dillon. And A.J. Dillon, I mean, I'm a guy from the East Coast. I love Dillon. He's a Boston College native. But, I mean, why are you taking him when you have Aaron Jones? It was the best receiving class we've seen in years, and they don't even get a receiver.
Yeah.
Yes, they have Devontae Adams, but they don't got much after that.
Oh, you mean, hold on. Let's not disrespect Devin Funchess now.
Oh, okay. Kevin.
Bro,
since the Panthers days.
I really wanted them to get my man the Green Bean, bro. So I can still call him the Green Bean.
That would be it. That would have been.
I would have loved that, bro. Why did they not get the Green Bean?
I don't know.
Robbie Anderson.
Just don't want to get weapons for him. It really makes no sense. He was low to 3,000 yards last year. I don't think he's no longer a guy who's going to throw 30-plus touchdowns. He's no longer elite. I think he's declining. If he's my quarterback, am I going to be pissed? No, because the value I'm going to get at might be pretty good for a guy named Aaron Rodgers. But I think he's definitely declining. He's not that elite guy.
Oh, he's definitely getting the value. You're definitely getting value on him.
For sure. Absolutely. You're getting value where he's going to be taken. But the way I look at it is he's clearly declining. He's not that elite guy that you want to take. Like, Rodgers was a guy who got taken one of the first 3 quarterbacks every draft. It's no longer going to happen now. And, that's just – I don't see him as a guy who's going to throw 30-plus touchdowns and especially with his main receiver, Devontae Adams, who already has injury issues. We saw it firsthand last year.
And being on a run-first offense, let's be honest here, Playmakers.
Absolutely.
Matt LaFleur is a goddamn Kyle Shanahan ripoff. So he's running that zone run scheme. He's definitely trying to open up the pass with the run. But, I mean, what are you gonna do? He doesn't have too many options. That's why even people have been giving me shit for wanting goddamn DeAndre Hopkins over Devontae Adams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go crazier. I would take Mike Evans.
Let's go crazy.
I'd go Mike Evans over Devontae Adams.
Well, but Devontae Adams is a first rounder, so I know you're not doing that, but I get what you're saying. You would rather have.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather have Hopkins all day.
Oh, you said Mike Evans. Yeah, Hopkins for sure.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, hypothetically, I'd rather Evans than, like, the price you're going to have to pay for Adams.
Yeah. I like that. That's crazy. You did say it was crazy.
It is. Yeah,
and let me tell you, Playmakers, this is how crazy that is. Because he's coming off a torn hamstring. So that's how crazy that is.
And he's still got 1,000. He's gotten 1,000 yards every year since he's been in the league since 2012. Insane.
Yeah.
But
in the membrane.
For me, it's just back to Rodgers. It's just lack of weapons. I don't know. Run first. I totally agree. Aaron Jones. Now you toss AJ Dillon in the mix, who's obviously he's the second round talent. They're gonna not just go and sit him, right? He's gonna be a guy behind Jones along with Jamal Williams too. So. I count Rodgers definitely, on the decline list for sure.
I'm gonna go back to my man Big Ben Rapistsburger. I don't even want to say he's my man because I don't support rapists. How about that?
Yeah, fuck him.
Big Ben Rapistsburger. He's definitely one of those dudes that, like, I mean, with this Tommy John, it will be a lot. We're gonna need Juju to have all the yak in the world. We're gonna, you know what I mean? They're gonna need James Conner to just run like his life depended on it, and we all know that. Actually, he even just dropped a book. Fear is a choice or something like that. I forget the name of his book, but he just dropped. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to James Conner. Love him as a person and a talent. You know what I mean? But it's like, him. I think they got another guy, McFarland, another rookie running back. Also got Benny the Snail. Bro, they're gonna enforce the run a lot because the only reason they were 9-7 last season with no quarterback was goddamn that defense. So I don't think Big Ben is gonna have to be required to do a lot except for game manage. And bro, I mean, let's be honest, we don't want that in fantasy. You know what I mean? So I think he's gonna take a massive step back. Going back to my Carson Wentz, I'll say this before I let you finish up. You know what I mean? Carson Wentz, man, it is based on just, his injury history and just losing that piece on that line, man. Like, I mean, you got to remember, Carson Wentz, he used to love to break the pocket and run. But it's like, are you going to be running anymore when you're timid to run because of your injury history? You know what I mean? I mean, I feel like we're going to see Jalen Hurts sooner than later. If that's the case, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's what goes back to why they drafted him. I mean, there has to be a reasoning. I mean, they're obviously they're concerned about his injury history, which I would be too, especially as a fantasy owner.
Yeah, and I will say, just an honorable mention, just because I'm a Niner and all these Raiders be hating on me. You know what I mean? And as bad as Derek Carr was, he's gonna take even more decline. How about that? Hey, did you catch my live yesterday?
Yeah, I did watch a little.
Did you see the one when I was with? Shout out to Spencer the Guru. Did you see the one I was on with Spencer?
Yeah, I did.
Did you see the comments?
Did I what?
Did you see the comments?
No, I saw. So I didn't catch it live. I was watching.
Oh, okay. Because one of my best friends in the world, who is a Raider fan, right? He's seen me live. He decided to jump into comments and he was just berating me, right? Just berating me to the effect that, like, and I knew I was going to jump on his live after. I was like, this son of a bitch. He's just like, don't listen to him. He doesn't know shit. He's a Niner. He was just like shitting on me. And he's like, and it's funny because I wasn't paying it no mind because I'm trying to be professional. I'm on live with my man, the Guru. Long story longer, he's over here like, that got me mad because you weren't acknowledging it. I wanted you to at least to laugh, so he started going even harder. And I was like, even to the point that when we got off live, Spencer texted me. He's like, well, I text Spencer. I'm like, did you see that dude in the comments going crazy? He's like, yeah, I seen that. I didn't want to say anything. And I'm like, yeah, that was my boy. I was like, trust me, it wasn't no stranger, or else I wouldn't went ham. You know what I mean? But it was like this motherfucker, and that's why I say Derek Carr is not even going to be the starter all year. We're going to see even weaker Marcus Mariota. Ha ha.
I mean, I was looking at that too. I don't know I kind of like the Raiders around the roster besides the quarterback. The quarterback issue is just really up in the air for me too.
I also think Tannehill could take a step back too.
Yeah, you just took mine.
No. Elaborate.
Yeah, I love it. You took mine. I mean, I took yours. You took mine. This is great. We're kind of like basically.
Hey, listen. We're co-hosts. Anytime I'm on with you, we're co-hosts, man. The GMM network is your second home.
Right. We vibing.
Oh,
as
yeah.
always.
We turning up.
We're turning up. Yeah, Tannehill, for sure. I mean, again, run first offense, right? I mean, Derrick Henry, arguably top 3 running back right now. He's getting taken in the first round. I mean, that's the guy. That's the guy who won you those first two games single-handedly. I mean, rushing for 200 yards back-to-back games is just absolutely insane. I think Tannehill was just in a nice spot. He was in a good offense, a good offensive line. They happened to lose one of their best offensive linemen in Conklin, who I mentioned earlier, going to the Browns, helping out my man Baker. So I think Tannehill too. I'm avoiding him / he's declining. I don't want him as my quarterback. I didn't even want him as my quarterback, in his somewhat bright days in Miami when he had that one really good season, then got injured. That's another thing for me. Let's see this guy play 16 games. We haven't seen it in quite some time, and he didn't play 16 last year, obviously coming in late, week 4, week 5 after they benched Mariota. So that's another guy for me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, okay. I know you got. Did you have any more on the list? Because that's all I got right here.
Yeah, honorable mention, decline. I'm just going to have to fucking say it. I'm going to go ahead and say Tom Brady. He's 43 years old. I get he has great weapons, and again, Rodgers, I'm not mad if I get Brady. He's probably going to be more valuable than he was last year just given his weapons, but in terms of talent, in terms of production, I think, yeah, he certainly is regressing and declining. I mean, he's 43. He's got to decline at some point, right? So I'm not in a rush to get him either. Just those old guys, Rodgers, Ben, Brady, no younger than 38. Brady's at 43, so it's just tough for me to get excited about a 43-year-old quarterback on a fantasy roster here.
Hey, man, it's hard to disagree with that. I actually love Brady because of the array of weapons he has. You know what I'm saying? And but it's hard to argue that, man, because of the age. I mean, but I really will say he's at this old age. We're gonna see if he really got it still because of, bro. He got so many fucking weapons this time around. It's ridiculous.
For sure. And that's like I said, he has got so many weapons. He's set up to be great. I mean, obviously, I can't say he's just not the same Brady. You saw it last year. He doesn't throw it down the field as good as he used to. He's kind of that, the Pats just made their system under, short passes, screen passes. Like Edelman was never a deep threat guy. They do have deep threat guys over there now with good weapons.
I will say that Bruce Arians loves to stretch the field. He loves shootouts. But Tom Brady coming over there has a small window of time to win. He's going to have some kind of say on that offense. So we might see like a baby version of how they did things in New England. You know what I mean? Like with the shorter passes and then there'll be, but still though, hey, if I'm Tom Brady and I'm in quarantine, juicing to the gills.
For sure. I think he's been doing it for quite a bit.
HGH, all that shit.
dude's 43, still slinging it. It's crazy.
Yeah, brother. Well, shit, man. I love that we can hit a compact episode, real nice and packed, real tight. A lot of turn up the facts isms, bro. Love it, man. Let them know where they can find you and all that good and all the great isms, bro.
Hell yeah, man. Appreciate you again. That was a lot of fun for sure. Can't wait till the next collab.
Hey, I will say this before you let them know.
Yo.
Check this out, Playmakers. All I have to do is give him an assignment, and he just fucking blows that shit out the fucking hemisphere. This kid is fucking phenomenal, bro. Fucking love you as a talent. Love you as an analyst, man. I keep patting myself on the back that I love that I was able to connect game with you. Like, I knew you were going to be great. I just love being right. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you, man. Feelings mutual as well. Love everything about your content, and that means a lot coming from you as well to see what you've been doing. You've been grinding. So, really appreciate that. You all right now, dude. You're
right. I actually set the bar really low so I could blow that shit out the hemisphere. You know what I mean?
For sure, dude. That's what it's all about. Just keep pumping it. Keep pumping that content. That's kind of what I live by. But yeah, again, you can find me on the 3 platforms: Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Instagram, I'm turn_up_the_Jets with 2 S's. Twitter, one word, turn up the Jets. And then same thing with my YouTube, one word, turn up the Jets. Just how it sounds. YouTube is linked to my Instagram. Yes, I'm a Jets diehard fan, but I like to call myself as a biased guy and basically overall in NFL too. So
yeah, man.
Really appreciate the follow. Whatever team you follow, I still think it would be worth your time.
He turns up the facts. I mean, if I didn't introduce you as Turn Up the Jets on this one, nobody would think that you're just a Jets fan, because I was able to see past that. Like, you know what I mean? I know you know your shit, man, and like, bro, I just really appreciate your existence, man. Like, we're really gonna shake things up, man. Between me, you, and the Fornicator, bro. Like, I you know what I mean? And just the Rum Boys, everybody, bro. Like, even Robbie, when he reached out to you, was like, you always spoke highly of him. When I checked out his content, I knew, so that's why he even brought you on with the Jets episode. And then even after, he texted me, he's like, you think I shitted on the Jets too much? And I was like, no, I don't think so. I think that he actually shitted on his own Jets too, because he had to be real, like, to an extent. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what we do. We only deliver the truth. We only turn up the truth. We turn up the facts, as my man Joe says.
Hell yeah, man. Turn up the facts. I can't be biased when my team has been disastrous over the last decade. So you gotta be real. And for me, I'm just a NFL guy too. So I definitely gotta be realistic.
Let's not say decade. You're 2012. You guys were relevant.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm just getting real specific. Like, listen, that's not a decade. That's 8 years. You know what I mean?
8, 9 years. 9.
Who's counting? Who's counting?
It's getting old losing. So hopefully they prove me wrong here this year.
Well, check this out, my brother. Before I let you go, is Turn Up the Facts something you birthed on this show?
Yep.
Bro, you need to run with that. That's what. Anytime you're talking anything outside of the Jets, you gotta hashtag that, or even make it your segments, bro. That's fucking phenomenal. This is
sure, man.
Yeah,
I know man. I had a fantasy segment that I did like Fantasy Friday, but I might have to do Turn Up the Facts and just
because it won't have to just be designated to Fridays either. You know what I mean?
Right. I can do it any day.
There you go. Look at that.
I think I gotta run away with that. So you're
bro.
You can say that you were there for when this.
Oh yeah, man. No, that's why I'm asking, so I could say that I was there and I witnessed greatness being birthed right before my very eyes, right here on the Real Fantasy Playmakers, right here on the GMM Network. My man Joe, sir. Turn Up the Jets. Much love, my brother. You be safe, man.
Much love. Dude.
Keep killing the game, and we will reconvene. You know what I'm saying? Sooner than later, man. Man, thank you for allowing me to bring you back on. I told you too, you're gonna be a reoccurring guest, man. I was like, you have no choice. You're coming back on all the time now.
For sure, man. I'm anytime you hit me up, I'm on. So appreciate it, dude.
Nah, appreciate you, bro. For sure, man. You have a good one.
You as well, my bro.
For sure. Peace.
Peace.
Hey.
Hey.